Hey, welcome back to the next exciting episode of It's Either Gonna Work or It Ain't Garage. Today, we're gonna look at the differences between this older roller block and compare them to the Vortec roller block, small block Chevy. So here we go. One of the differences are you have to take the dowels out of the older roller block to put the Vortec cover on here, so you have the sensor for the fuel injection. Another difference is this bypass hole is not drilled all the way through in the Vortec block, and the fuel pump mounting isn't drilled all the way through like this one is. You can see over here. That this one has no cover on it. And right up in there, you can see the water pump gasket and the hole that's not drilled all the way through. My notes. Okay. I got the cam specs on a factory Vortec. They're right here. 414 intake lift, 428 exhaust lift, 191, 196 duration at 50, 111 lobe separation angle. I went with a HR260S SBC from this place in Texas. It's a factory core that's reground, and this one is ground to 500 intake, 500 exhaust, 206 duration at 50 with 112 degrees of lobe separation. You gotta keep that wide for the fuel injection to work. It was around $180 with tax and shipping. From this company on eBay from Texas. That should give it a little more zing with my friend Stosh Hoarding. He did the bowl blending and a little gasket match and the exhaust polishing and bowl blending. Curious on how it's gonna do. Should be pretty fun. In stock form, then Vortex ran pretty good. I did a Leakdown test. I had this Leakdown tester that I bought. I used to work midnights at Ford, and on September 11th, 2001, I bought this Leakdown tester, and today was the first time I ever used it. I just took it out of the package. I had this part out of the package where you could screw into the spark plug holes And I used that before for holding the valves up to change the springs in a car. But I never used this part. I just took this out of the package after almost 20 years. Bought it on September 11th, 2001. That's why I remember the guy's like, "What are you trying to do? You're buying a Leakdown tester and anaerobic sealer?" I like the anaerobic sealer on the main caps instead of the silicone because it squishes down better. Anyway, now let's see. The Vortec head flow. I was looking on the Stan Weiss website, and like the max flow is around 500 lift with a factory untouched head, and this one's bowl blended and a little bit, tiny bit of gasket matching because the ports are pretty good already from the factory. As you can see on this one better. The lights. It only goes in ever so slightly to get the gasket match. Didn't really take anything out of there with that. But it's it was, what was it, 240? No, it wasn't 240. It was 230 CFM intake at around 500 lift. So with the extra work done, 30 was like a little pushing it on the optimistic side. So probably 15 to 25 CFM more is a little more reasonable. Rewatch the video. Yeah. So, yeah, and if you notice, this is a 096 Vortec, and this is a 062 Vortec head. The difference is this one comes out of the heavier duty trucks like the 25 and 3500. They had the Vortec in it. The casting is a little heavier, a little less prone to cracking, and some of them have hardened seats. Some say, "Oh, well, they don't flow as good as the 062s," but the deal with that is that they have hardened exhaust seats in them, which is a plus. But they didn't bowl blend the seats in there, and that's why the exhaust flowed less. So these are bowl blended, both heads. So they should flow right around pretty close to the same. That's pretty much the only difference. Yeah, there's the head bolts I bought. I wanted to share some information on those. What a damn gravity. What a joke those are. Let's see. Engine Quest head bolts. There was 2 missing, and here's what their instructions say. In certain circumstances, engine builders must use a sealer on the bolt thread because the bolts protrude through the water jackets of the cylinder block. We have found that these substances can act as lubricants and grossly affect the torque tension values during installation. In some cases, these substances can cause the bolt to experience tensile loads up to or over 18,500 pounds, even though the torque wrench shows only 70 foot-pounds. Yeah. All InjuQuest bolts are furnished with a phosphate and oil finish, and no additional lubricant is required. However, if sealants are needed, we caution that engine builders to use extreme care in order to avoid inadvertently over-torquing the bolts. So specifically, we recommend lowering the torque value to 55 to 60 foot-pounds when using sealant. What a joke. There's two bolts missing out of the kit, and it's 10 to 15 foot-pounds less torque on there. No, if this engine wasn't for me, I would have got the ARP bolts. But I figured these would either work or they ain't. But I'll never buy them again. InjuQuest. Especially with two of them missing. Lock differences. Okay, yeah, I want to mention the lifters that I bought. The lifters in here are factory roller lifters. The one on eBay for $70 for a set. The one set was that said 86 to 2014, and then this set said LS. What was it? 99 to 2014. So I said the other ones that said that was in the years for this block were $115. These were $69.99. So I figured it's either going to work or it ain't. I grabbed these and compared them to the flat lifters that came out of there, and the oil hole lined up, the flats orientated and in the proper position for the roller to spin on the cam. You know, I cycled it and it actuates good enough. It doesn't push the dog bone out or anything. So I saved $45. Yeah, these bolts were $35. That's probably less than half of what a set of ARPs would be. So I saved some there. I figured it either going to work or it ain't. And it doesn't work for me. If I want to buy those again, I'm not gonna. Alrighty, let's see. Grab my cheat sheet. That's about all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell for the next exciting episode of It's Either Gonna Work or It Ain't.